So finally, Bob said, I think I'd better wrap the company for a couple of hours. Why don't you all go away, walk around the lot of 20th Century Fox and get... he wasn't angry. I thought he would be furious with me, but he was very, very patient and very understanding. And so I went off, and I was in a highly nervous state because I know myself very well, and when I get the giggles, I'm afraid I have been known to wrap a set, and that's the end of it for the day. So we went and we had a long 2-hour lunch and came back, and one of those arcs made the same stupid noise, and I was just gone. And finally, Bob got the idea, I think, that it would be wonderful to shoot the scene partially in silhouette, so that as we moved into a new part of the scene, he would shoot it so that you actually couldn't see our faces. And I'm sure that as much as it was a creatively wonderful idea, it was an on-the-spur creative idea, because he didn't know what else to do but hide our giggles and our smiles. By that time, we had calmed down a little. I think I took a Valium even, but it didn't help much.
Do you want me to cut that?
One Valium, for God's sake. I did. You can do whatever you like. I mean, if you feel that it should, then do.
Okay. As long as you don't, then
I don't think it... I mean, it makes me real, and it was real, yeah.
All right. Some other locations in Salzburg. The Cathedral of Montsey, you might mention that Dorothy Jenkins' wedding dress.
Oh, yeah.
Very cold cathedral.
Yes, it was, and that was sitting around for hours. I have a photograph in my office today of Bob Wise and me standing in the cathedral in Montsey? Montsey, thank you. I have a photograph today of Bob Wise and me standing in the beautiful cathedral at Montsey, the lake. There was a beautiful cathedral built right close to it where the wedding was shot. And nobody warned us how cold it was going to be. It was freezing. And of course the cathedral wasn't heated. And so I was in this beautifully fragile dress designed for me by Dorothy Jenkins, and it was the most glorious creation to wear. But it was paper thin, and I was cold. There was an awful lot of sitting around just to light that cathedral. You can imagine, lights outside, lights inside, lights hiding behind pillars, and the local people actually came in, and they were asked to dress up in their traditional costumes, which they did, and it gave tremendous flavor and character to the look of that scene. It was a beautiful scene eventually, and I did enjoy shooting it, but I remember, I don't know if I can say this and you can cut it, I remember that the bishop was the real bishop of the cathedral, the gentleman that married us, and he was kind of a dirty old man because I would be changing in the vestry or somewhere, and he kind of kept coming in. It was his office, I think, or something, and he kept coming in and having a little peek and was terribly excited about all these Hollywood people that were there. I don't think you can use that, but it's true. Yeah.
Something I haven't done.
Oh, there you are. It is true. We all said that. He's a dirty old man. He really is. Oh, and he also was a bit plotzed. Well, anyway. I guess simply because you're a member of the church, it doesn't preclude you being a dirty old man. Well, never mind.
A little stealing from the communion supplies, maybe?
Well, he certainly seemed a little high on something, so maybe he was stealing from the supply of wine, and maybe it was in the vestry. I wish I'd known.
Okay. Near as I could figure from the shooting schedules, there were about 5 overnight shoots at the Rocky Riding School to do the festival.
Oh, my Lord, yes. I'm glad you reminded me. Yeah, probably the coldest we were, though. I mean, it seems like it was nothing but rain and cold, but it really was. Since it was sort of early to mid-spring that we were shooting in Salzburg, was the great riding school. And that's because it was simply built of this beautiful stone, and it just seemed to hold the dam. And gosh, we seemed to be there forever. If there was a truly tedious moment in the film, for me, it seemed like it was the riding school scenes that were shot. Of course, it's now this beautiful concert hall. It used to be a riding school, I believe, but now it's this glorious concert hall, and of course it's shown as a concert hall in the film.
You also got permission the company got permission to shoot outside in the forecourt of the real Nürnberg Abbey. Did you have any experience there? Or?
You mean the abbey that's right on the hill? Yeah, we did, didn't we?
That was Maria's real abbey.
Yeah. Yes, we did. I don't know if I have any memories of that, excepting how beautiful the cobblestones were. I don't remember that. But there was something else. Oh, the only there's one thing that I remember about Salzburg, and that is I didn't have a chance to get out that much. But one night I was able to go and hear a concert of chamber music by Mozart. And it was my day off, and I decided that I really should do this. And I remember going into this gloriously decorated room, gilt and mirrors and tiny little gilt opera chairs almost, or concert chairs where one sat very stiff-backed and listened to the music. But the music was so appropriate for the place that it suddenly became terribly romantic. One thinks of Mozart as being pristine or certainly beautiful, but this was absolutely lush, and it was simply because the music was being heard in the place where it was composed, and it was glorious. It was a night that I will not forget.
That's wonderful, sorry.
Well, it actually was very, very... I hadn't realized how sexy Baroque music can be, and it was.
When it came to shooting the exteriors of the villa, the back required 2 locations.
Mm-hmm.
Shots towards the house, seeing the house, was one location.
And then the back was another location, yeah.
So every scene had to be shot twice, including that very heated argument scene.
Oh, I see, depending on which angle it was. I didn't realize that. I only know that the front of the house was one place and the back was another. But in fact, are you sure about that? Is that true, Mike?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, the house they chose for the building was Frunberg.
Uh-huh.
So you needed shots of that same architecture.
But then we wanted the lake and all of that.
So then they reconstructed the porch from that house.
You're absolutely right.
So all those scenes had to be shot twice, 2 locations a mile away, so that they could be intercut. And it works wonderfully, but I was just wondering if there was any...
No, funnily enough, it skipped my memory, but now that you mention it, I do remember it being done. I don't think I have any comment to make.
Okay.
Except the great argument scene that Maria has with Von Trapp about the children right after she's fallen into the lake and stands there dripping wet was kind of difficult in many ways. First of all, the scene, the lake was one location, the back of the house was another, and since I was facing the house and Christopher was facing the lake, it meant that we had to do half the scene in one location and half in the other, and of course it all looks like one place on film. The other difficulty was that I was dripping wet, and so of course I would be standing around with towels and fur coats and God knows what on to try to keep me warm. But in fact, every time we did a close-up or any kind of shot from that scene, I would have to be sprayed and made completely wet all over again. So it's amazing one didn't catch one's death of cold. I never had a cold on that film. I must have been having too good a time.
Too much schnapps.
And, yes.
Okay. Is it true that you go through some effort to make Bob wisecrack up?
I did delight in making Bob laugh, yeah. Well, he's such a sweetie pie, and he's so unbelievably kind and such a joy to work for and to work with. And he taught me an enormous amount. He taught me to be still. It's very hard for me to be still, as you've probably